Millions on the line for Shelby County Schools.
I uncover how much SCS could lose if vouchers are approved.
Plus, armed robbers hit a cell phone store.
It upsets me when we have incidents like this.
The new links the store is going to protect customers. And an investigation into a Mid-South cemetery. New victims now coming forward saying graves of their loved ones have been neglected.
Breaking news alert suing the city of Memphis. The new lawsuit has been filed by people on the so-called blacklist that requires some activists to have an escort inside City Hall.
WMC Action News 5's Sasha Jones first broke the list, and tonight she's live with the reason the suit calls this list illegal. Sasha.
Well, many of the activists that we have spoken to, they had one question: whether or not the City Hall escort list indeed violates the 1978 consent decree on political surveillance. Well, this complaint filed in federal court today alleges it does.
It would be amusing if it wasn't so illegal.
Paul Gardner was one of the first activists to speak with the WMC Action News 5 investigators after finding out his name was on this City Hall escort list. Now Gardner, along with 3 other people, are taking action in court. This complaint was filed in federal court Wednesday afternoon. It alleges the Memphis Police Department has engaged in political surveillance with the creation of this escort list and at other peaceful protests.
And this is why people do not trust government. This is why people do not trust law enforcement, is because of this.
Garner told us last week he feared the city had violated the 1978 consent decree. This complaint alleges the same. The decree, which is also in the MPD Policy and Procedure Handbook, states, quote, the Memphis Police Department does not engage in political intelligence, and that no member shall intercept, record, transcribe, or otherwise interfere with any communications by means of electronic or covert surveillance for the purpose of political intelligence gathering. The complaint also mentions a computer system called Geophedia. The program reportedly is used by MPD to collect data on social media. And this complaint also demands that the City Hall escort list is dissolved immediately. We also reached out to the city of Memphis to find out if they had a comment. We did hear back from a spokesperson who said that as of right now, they have not seen this lawsuit. So right now, they don't have a comment. But coming up on WMC Action News 5 at 10 o'clock, we're digging further into this complaint and looking at the people who are named inside. From downtown Memphis, Sasha Jones, WMC Action News 5.
Millions on the line for Shelby County Schools. A controversial state school voucher bill could cut eventually $18 million from the budget if it's passed. And new here at 6, WMC Action News 5's Kendall Downing uncovered additional state funds that would have to be used to support the program. Kendall joins us live now with some new numbers tonight. Kendall?
Well, hi, Joe. Those numbers come from this fiscal note that was filed with State Senator Brian Kelsey's school voucher bill, a bill that his critics say unfairly targets Memphis. Shelby County Schools board member Teresa Jones says any funding change is a concern.
We still have set fixed costs, infrastructure costs that cannot be made up just by removing 4 or 5 students.
Under State Senator Brian Kelsey's voucher proposal filed earlier this year, 5,000 vouchers would be offered to start and capped at 20,000 by the 2020-2021 school year. The vouchers allow students to go to private school, but Shelby County Schools is the only district statewide that qualifies because it has at least 30 schools performing in the bottom 5% of state standards.
It just seems to single Shelby County out.
New numbers from the state show Shelby County Schools would lose nearly $8.9 million in funding in 2017-2018. That annual total could grow to more than $18 million in later years. The cost to the state, $330,400 to run the program in year 1, $230,400 in later years. In a statement tonight, SCS said they are closely monitoring the bill and, quote, it's premature to speculate on any impact the proposed legislation might have on the district. We found mixed opinions today.
Well, I still don't feel that's right.
I think it's a good idea. It gives the parents an option that they may not have been able to afford otherwise.
I did talk with Senator Kelsey this afternoon, who says students that are in failing schools deserve to go to better schools as soon as possible. And he says he is confident that this proposal will make it through the legislature. It's set to be heard in a committee March the 8th. Live at SCS headquarters, Kendall Downing, WMC Action News 5.
Caught on camera, robbers rushing into a Mid-South cell phone store, pointing guns straight at customers. New at 6, WMC Action News 5's Jerry Askin is live with the way the store says it's responding and showing its muscle. Jerry.
And Kanji, those two masked men came inside and stole not one, not two, but 20 iPhones. And I found out that store is adding armed guards for safety. Get a good look at this chilling video surveillance. You see two masked men walk inside this Verizon store on Houston Levee, one of them pointing a gun.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
It's scary for customers and for Collierville residents. Police say these men walked in around closing time Tuesday, robbed the store, and took 20 iPhones, which cost $700 apiece.
It makes me sad because Collierville is such a nice, quiet, safe place.
That's surprising.
Wednesday, Collierville PD told me they're working with Memphis police to see if these men are the same men responsible for several Verizon store robberies in Memphis. Collierville PD is now offering a $1,000 cash reward if you can help them make an arrest.
It's really just sad, and it makes my heart hurt that this happens.
Now, take a final look at these masked men. If you know who they are, call Collierville Police. And those two men drove off in a light brown Toyota. If you know who those two men are, you're asked to call Collierville Police, 901-457-CASH. Reporting live, Jerry Askin, WMC Action News 5.
Breaking news alert, Ole Miss football has self-imposed a one-year bowl ban. WMC Action News 5 Sports Director Jarvis Greer joins us live now in our Breaking News Center to explain why. Jarvis?
Well, Joe, in a move to get out in front of NCAA sanctions, which could be devastating for the school, Ole Miss announces it is self-imposing a one-year bowl ban on its football team for the coming season. Now, the Rebels making the announcement saying the investigation by the NCAA's enforcement staff has finally concluded. The NCAA began looking at Rebel athletics in 2012 and has produced a list of 13 allegations. That number grew to 21 after the April NFL draft, when former Rebel Laramie Tunsil admitted to receiving cash and other extra benefits from former Rebel staffers. The biggest charge against Ole Miss is lack of institutional control, which the Rebels say they will fight. Those charges could lead to more severe sanctions, from a loss of scholarships to even the firing of head coach Hugh Freeze.
The additional allegations announced today are serious, but we will vigorously defend the university against those allegations that we believe are not appropriately supported, including that we lacked institutional control and that our head coach did not promote an atmosphere of compliance or monitor staff in our football program.
Now, we'll have more on Ole Miss and its self-imposed one-year bowl ban coming up for you later in this broadcast in sports. Live in the Breaking News Center, Jarvis Greer, WMC Action News 5 Sports.
New at 6, police say that they've arrested the man who murdered a Memphis jewelry store owner right in front of his one-year-old son. Investigators say Jesse Slade stabbed Noah Sheen in broad daylight. This happened at the Golden Jewelers on Winchester last week. Friends of Sheen said that he was found on top of his son, and they believe he died trying to protect the toddler.
A new MTSU poll says Tennesseans have an approval rating of 51% for President Donald Trump. As MTSU also compared the numbers to a similar poll taken shortly after President Obama took office back in 2009. 53% approved of Mr. Obama at that time. The poll surveyed 600 registered voters in Tennessee.
Police say this man tried to rob a couple at gunpoint as they left an ATM. The boyfriend told police Darius Maxwell pointed a gun into the car at the First South Bank on Austin P. Highway. The victim told investigators he was able to speed off, stopping Maxwell. Tonight he's charged with attempted aggravated robbery. There's a new judge in DeSoto County. Today, Governor Phil Bryant appointed Craig Treadway, replacing the judge Celeste Wilson, who was appointed to the circuit court. A lifelong resident of Olive Branch, Treadway has served as a DeSoto County prosecuting attorney since 1999.
New record high in Memphis today. We hit 76 degrees this afternoon at 3:44. It's still warm. It's 71. We've got a mostly clear sky out there. And if you're going to get out this evening, perfect weather for you. 68 at 7, 65 at 8, and about 64 at 9. And even into the overnight hours, temperatures remaining in the low 60s. We've got a great weather pattern coming. So good, I broke out the emoji cast. You may even crack a sweat tomorrow. Keep an umbrella handy Friday. Saturday, it's going to be a little cooler, but you'll need the sunglasses. I'll tell you more about it in the First Alert forecast just ahead.
I am a man. It was a slogan shouted loudly and proudly during the Memphis sanitation workers' strike in 1968, the same movement that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was leading when he was assassinated at the Lorraine Motel on April 4th of that year. The city is now honoring Dr. King's legacy, commemorating what will be the 50th anniversary of his death next year through the I Am a Man Plaza. The City and Urban Art Commission are calling on artists to design and fabricate an art installation in conjunction with the development of this project.
We want this to be a place of respite. We want this to be a place of reflection, a place where people can convene and talk about social change, a place where people can go to and learn more about what happened in the movement.
So the site for the plaza is adjacent to Claiborne Temple, a strategic center and place of refuge for the 1968 Memphis sanitation workers strikers.
I'm tracking record heat and a big cool down expected for the weekend. Your First Alert forecast is on its way. Plus,
a WMC Action News 5 investigation into a cemetery in trouble. New answers for sunken graves and double-sold plots, including why the cemetery is placing blame elsewhere. Plus,
it's helping my confidence. I'm doing better at basketball and soccer.
How a Mid-South coach is bridging the gap between dyslexia and sports. And all new at 10, carjacked at gunpoint. The clue, one victim spotted without realizing it moments before he came face to face with a gun.
My soulmate, he got snatched away from me. My heart is dead, my baby gone.
These Memphis families are just some of the hundreds whose lives were changed forever by murder.
My son didn't even get a chance to graduate.
Many other cases remain unsolved. Sasha Jones sits down with loved ones as they make a plea to police.
The pain is still there.
You still can't forget about the cases.
You cannot heal until you've put behind bars.
The Investigators, tonight on WMC Action News 5 at 10.